Café and Networking Podcast promotes entrepreneurs, startups, authors, business experts throughout the world. Available on all major podcast platforms. I'm Tom Reaoch, in America known as the King of Networking, connecting people and speaking from my studio in Vinhedo, São Paulo, Brazil. And today we talk with Christian de la Huerta, and he's joining us from Miami, Florida. Christian is president of Soulful Power. He's also the award-winning author of the book, Awakening the Soul of Power. He has been a writer, speaker, retreat, and group facilitator for over 25 years. Christian, you write that this book is for everyone, but has a particular message for women. Why is that?
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me on the show. Yes, it is for everybody because we all struggle with power. We all have a conflicted, ambivalent relationship to power. And we can talk about that if we've got a few minutes afterwards. But it's particularly focused on women because I believe that when women are in 50% of power in the world, we're going to have a very different relationship to war and poverty and hunger and social justice and distribution of wealth and how we treat the environment, to all of it. And it's not to idealize women. It's not to put women up on a pedestal. It's not to give women more crap that they have to clean up in this world. But it's because we, as a world, as a species, we've been running so off balance, so off kilter between the masculine and the feminine energies. Right. And so that's what drives that particular message for me. It's for everybody. It has a chapter for men too. Mm-hmm. But in the examples and the themes, I try to tailor it for women.
No, we're talking here, and I'm in Brazil, and as many people know, Brazil is a macho country, and it has been. I've been here. The culture is that way, and we still have serious problems here with domestic violence against women, and unfortunately, when women try, and I don't want to use the power because sometimes power comes across as the wrong word. But when women try to have part of their place in society, that's when a revenge comes back from the men. So do you see that? That is pretty general worldwide view that you may have, right?
Yeah, I think so too. And yeah, I mean, and to your point that we all struggle with that word power. Here's why, because we've been conditioned to believe that power is a bad thing. And with quotes like, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. What they didn't tell us about that is that Lord Acton was speaking specifically about political power, not personal power. So when you combine that with the fact that we were afraid that we might abuse power, because how many times have we witnessed abuses of power in our lives? All we got to do is turn on the news any given day to witness at least one. So when you combine those two facts with the other fact that we've also been conditioned to have an ambivalent relationship with the emotions. Right. We've labeled the emotions weakness. We hate conflict. We avoid confrontation. When you put all that together, what happens is that we give away our power. We sell out on our personal power, our inherent, innate power that nobody can give to us. Nobody can give away. We are the only ones who give it away. And we do so for tragic, lame reasons. We say yes when inside we really feel no. We stuff ourselves into smaller little packages so as to not rock the boat too much, so that we're not threatening to anybody, for an illusion of security, for a false sense of acceptance, and for crumbs, morsels of pseudo-love. And it's not an effective strategy because it just doesn't work. And we end up becoming resentful. Because we're stuffing huge parts of who we are for that illusion of security. And so what this book talks about is that there is a way that we can step into power in a way that's not about hierarchy, fear, control, domination, force, abuse, that there's no need to push anybody down, step on them, overcome them with our force in order for us to feel powerful. That there's a way that we can do it.
You woke me up to a concept of power, of the word. And then specifically speaking about the women and what you said at the beginning, power also equates to energy.
Yes.
And so when we're talking about energy, all of the women I know seem to be more energized. They can do 45 different things at the same time. Where men, I say they only have 2 neurons. They sometimes have difficulty doing 3 things at the same time. So that's a power side that for women, I think, is essential. And many times that may be the dilemma of men. They may see that energy.
And you're so right, because we tend to have a very limited perception of power. But if we think of power that way that you're talking about as energy, if we think of powers like in Spanish, I don't know about Brazilian, but Portuguese, but in Spanish, poder, power means both power and to be able to.
Right.
So it's that same root as potential.
Right.
So yeah, we all have access to that. If you want to talk power and resilience and strength and courage, let's talk about the power of creation that resides in the female body. It's like, wow.
That's it. And well, here in Brazil, we have, power could be poder in Portuguese, but it also could be força, which would be force. Yeah. Force in the sense of energy. And here we're talking about horsepower with the energy. And so it's really, and I think that's part of the thing about the different cultures. Not only understanding power, how is power translated throughout different cultures? What does that mean?
Exactly.
And how people can use it and how they do use it or how they should use it. But anyway, Christian, your life is talking to people and sharing that, right?
Yeah. I've been doing retreats and personal transformation work for over 30 years now.
Very good. So to find you, the best way is where?
Probably my website, soulfulpower.com, and from there they can access my social media. And for your audience, if they will go to soulfulpower.com and get on my email list, and we know how easy it is to click unsubscribe if it doesn't work for you down the road. For anybody who gets on my email list, we'll send them a sample chapter from the book, some power practices designed to integrate the teachings to make them applicable and integrate them into our lives, and a guided meditation I created for these difficult, chaotic times. So how do we move into trust in these times of chaos and uncertainty?
Great. So thank you, and thank you for sharing your time and your experience with us today.
Thank you so much, Tom, for having me on the show, and thank you for having the show. I know that in your willingness to do that, many lives are impacted and touched, so thank you.
Well, thank you for touching me in such a powerful way. Okay. And remind my audience that you can find, as we said, more information about Christian de la Huerta, and it's Christian is Christian, D-E-L-A, the last name Huerta. And you'll find more about the book on his site, which is Soulful Power, SoulfulPower.com, and LinkedIn, where he's also Christian de la Huerta. Café and Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil, and more information on their website, which is focusmi.com. Thanks for listening. Until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.